What's up, guys? Welcome back to Nuance and Nonsense. I'm your co-host, Sam.
I'm Shani Alexis.
And for our first topic within tech, we're going to be just discussing a little bit about the Apple keynote where they announced the Apple Watch 6, a couple new iPads, and the new iOS 14 and iPad OS 14 that's coming out.
When Sam brought up this topic, it made me think of, I work in marketing, and I was recently told by a coworker that the new iOS 14 will make it harder for Facebook to be able to target you in ads. So on the marketing side, it's going to be harder for us to target the right people for ads. But on the user side,
That's really
I guess that's more privacy, like more data privacy and nicer, but at the same time, it's like, well, do you want your ads to not be relevant? You know what I mean? Like, I can see both sides to it.
Yeah.
It's like, as a user, I kind of like that my ads are relevant because I don't like seeing ads that have nothing to do with me, but then at the same time, I don't want to see relevant ads because then it'll make me want to buy things.
Yeah.
It's
Nuanced.
Very nuanced.
Do you know how, it sounds like, I guess you kind of said it just, your data is more private, like from other apps?
I don't really, and I haven't looked into it. You're the tech genius, so
Well,
you'll have to look into
you're right,
that.
I am, but...
It's something with how it's set up completely different than
should've-
it's ever been set
I
up.
should have looked more on Reddit. I bet the Apple people on Reddit would know. But in terms of the new products, the Apple Watch 6, I'm a big fan of the Apple Watch. I think I have the 5. I think I have the last version. But on the new Apple Watch, I guess they're gonna have better sleep monitoring software, which I think is cool. Because a lot of people some people that have an Apple Watch will then use like a Whoop strap or like I don't know, my dad has one of those rings, and I know a couple people, I forget what the ring's called, but they'll use another device to monitor sleep, so it's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, I don't have an Apple Watch, but the one thing that like really sounded interesting to me was tracking my sleep.
Yeah.
Because sleep is so important for your health, and I don't really know how good I sleep, you know? Like, I feel like I think I sleep good, but I really don't because I wake up a bunch to go to the bathroom and things like that.
Yeah. I want to get to a spot where I just have more data on every like health metric, because some nights I sleep really well and some nights I don't, and sometimes I don't know why, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm not gonna buy it right when it comes out, but it's cool because like this one has sleep apps, but they're third party, so it's gonna have Apple's own sleep app. But I think the thing that most people are talking about is the new iOS 14. And so it's going to have widgets, you know what that is? Mm-hmm. Like how Android... It's actually, honestly, like a couple of the things that people are talking about are just features that Android has already had for a while.
Like more customizable?
Yeah. But yeah, with the widgets. And then like incoming calls. You know how on your iPhone, like let's say you're watching a YouTube video and somebody calls you, it like takes up the whole screen. Like on Android, it just comes up a little notification bar at the top and you can say answer or ignore. And that's how it's going to be on the new iOS, which is cool. And I'm going to do this.
Voila.
Yeah. And, the Apple Watch has an oximeter.
What's that?
It measures your blood glucose, I think. Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
That's crazy. So do you think you stick yourself with it?
It didn't really say much about how I would do that. And like, so one of the jokes that somebody made in the comments on Reddit was like, oh, but what about the battery life? Because this Apple Watch doesn't have very good battery life. Mm. Like if I just wore it from when I wake up to when I go to sleep, it's like probably going to be at 30% battery, 40% battery. So it like, you have to charge it every night basically. And so somebody was like, because the oximeter, I guess, is really good for some people who have, you know, diabetes or things like that, or older people. So they're like, what about battery life? And they're like, well, you'll just have to get a second Apple Watch so that while your other one's charging, you won't die. So that was kind of funny.
The Apple people said this, or just
no, it's
like,
just people on Reddit.
Oh.
Like you have to like put one on the charger and then like put the other one on. You're like, oh.
I do feel like my AirPods, they charge so quickly, but they die really quickly.
Yeah.
I just charge them every day at lunch so that they're always
like the
charged.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I always have to charge mine too. You're right.
All right, I guess that is it for tech. Next, we're going to talk about music. Music makes the people come together. Yeah, it's Madonna. But we're not going to talk about Madonna. Although she did do a song with Dua Lipa recently. And I haven't listened to the full song, but I think that that's cool that she collaborated with a recent pop star. And Dua Lipa is very inspired by Madonna with her last album, so it was cool that they took a song that was on her album and like remixed it together.
That's cool.
Also, I think maybe Missy Elliott or someone else was on it.
That's cool.
But for music today, we're going to talk about Justin Bieber and Chance the Rapper's new song, Holy. We don't have a whole lot to say about it, but we're just going to go over it quickly. So when we saw that this was going to be a collab, we were really excited because Sam can tell you a little bit more, but he is like Chance the Rapper since he was high school, junior high.
Yeah, well, yeah, like, or senior of high school.
Okay.
I think is when he came out with his first mixtape. I love Chance.
And we're both Christians, and so when people that we look up to, well, pretty much just when someone cool in the music sphere does a song that's not explicit, it's kind of nice because it's like, that's why like Chance the Rapper does a lot of like not explicit music now. And Justin Bieber, as you know, is a man of faith. I'm sure you've seen. And so Kanye West, his latest album was super dope. So I was kind of expecting more of a like Christian song, like actually about God, but it was more of a like romance song. So our like expectations were like a little let down there. But it's a beautiful song, beautiful chorus. I think that that's what Justin Bieber excels at, or like love songs. You know, that's kind of how he got his start. So
yeah.
No hate on the song.
Haven't they collaborated before?
I don't know.
I feel like they have. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I just like, both those guys coming together. They're about our age, both of them, right? Mm-hmm. Justin Bieber. I know Chance is. And
Chance's part did give me goosebumps, just with how like. Yeah. He's just so good.
Yeah, because I listened to it for the first time last night when we were in the car, and I liked it. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's gonna be a song I like bump all the time, but I just wanted to talk about it too because both those guys have dark pasts in some ways, and they're kind of like, they've come to God and stuff, and so I relate with them like that, and I like it, I like that they're collaborating.
I haven't seen the music video yet, but I did hear something that maybe.
Oh, they did that "I'm the One" song.
The girl in it used to have a crush on Justin Bieber or something, and because I thought it was strange that like Haley, his wife, who's a model, wouldn't be in it, but I think they're like, I haven't watched the video yet. Obviously, I should just go watch it, but I think there may be like
we're too busy making videos, baby.
Yes, it takes a lot of time. But I think they might be trying to tell a story within the music video. Maybe someone in Chance's life, like they're trying to like show, or maybe just someone they know of, or I don't know what they're trying to emulate in the video because I haven't seen it yet. But seeing like the thumbnail of it, and like I saw little bits and pieces on Justin Bieber's Instagram, and it felt like it was a kind of like a real video, like a movie almost, like a piece of a movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, we should watch it.
Yeah, so that's all for music, but we will definitely watch the video together.
I would recommend you guys.
And then maybe...
anybody who's listening, watch that.
Yeah. And then we'll update you guys on Instagram stories or something.
Good wholesome music. For our next topic in health here, we wanted to discuss the new Netflix show Unwell, which we watched some of it together. I think between both of us, we watched all of them. And it was really...
I don't know if I've seen all.
And I haven't seen the B one.
I know you haven't seen Tantric Sex yet.
Oh, yeah.
Because you would definitely be a little, I know
triggered.
I would... Not triggered, but like, I know that you would talk to me about that one because it's very insane.
Yeah. You pointed out to me, though, something that I thought was cool because I watched the one on fasting and I was like, I don't get it. You know, we were talking about it the next day. I was like, I don't get it. Were they saying it's good or bad or
yeah,
what?
There was not a conclusion really.
Yeah, and you were like, well, that you said that's part of why you liked it. They showed both sides, and I was like, yeah, that is really true. A lot of health documentaries and content just in general online has like very much has an agenda and a bias and trying to convince you of one thing or another, and that didn't have that as much.
Yeah, so I don't know, did we really go over what Unwell is? They just cover all of the basic trends in wellness that people are making a ton of money off of. Essential oils, this tantric sex, fasting, drinking breast milk as an adult. Like a lot of men powerlifters drink breast milk. Like they just covered a bunch of like these trending topics. What's that drug that people do that like they find themselves? Ayahuasca. They covered, that was an episode. So it was really neat because we're both into the wellness space, and I feel like pretty much all millennials are, interested in wellness in some capacity. A lot of people are. And it was neat to see, like, they really did a good job of investigating different things and getting both sides, like you said.
Yeah. And
they also made it entertaining at the same time.
Yeah, because by the title, Unwell, it made me think that they're gonna like shit on all this stuff, you know? And by some of the trailers, like when they did the trailer was for the essential oils one, and it just seemed like that they were gonna destroy it. But they didn't. I mean, they didn't really. I mean,
yeah, and
it left me feeling like, oh, I never really believed that stuff did much personally, and I kind of left feeling the same way.
Well, fasting you did.
No, with essential oils specifically.
Oh.
You know. Yeah, fasting. I've always felt like it had benefits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fasting one, I felt like they tried to show both sides, but the other side was like not a good example because like the only kind of downfall they had was this guy got down to like 90 pounds and went crazy and like fell somehow and died. But it was like, who is letting a grown man fast so long that he's down to 90 pounds? Like it was like a cult-like situation. Yeah. And so it was like, obviously that's not healthy. Like that's not how we fast. You know, we do intermittent fasting. So
yeah,
I thought that was
it just showed everything. You know, everything can be taken to such extremes.
Mm-hmm. Really
and then like there's like that I think we talked about it last week, but like that tribal mentality. Like I remember the lady who was doing the essential oils was getting like a bad rash right where she put the lavender or whatever, and she would go on the forums and ask people, and they go, oh, your body's detoxing, it's good, keep putting more. It's like, man, it's like clearly giving her a rash, you know?
Yeah, and she was like ingesting too much. Same with, the breast milk one. Like the lady was like, this is kind of my identity. Like the husband was like, she loves this. Yeah. And it's crazy how
the breast milk one was funny. They're all funny.
Like something like essential oils can become someone's identity. Like if you're not careful, and I think it's awesome to have, like, we're super obsessed with health and talk about it all the time. So I'm not downing on people that have these like, you know, things that help them cope and that they're interested in. I'm not downing on that. But at the same time, like we have to be careful that we don't go too far to where it's now an obsession, an unhealthy obsession.
Yeah.
But that's all we're going to talk about with health.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah, go watch it. It's
good.
really good.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about fashion, which is one of my favorite segments because I am a fashion blogger, if you didn't know. Check me out, ShaniLexis.com. Sam found this article, FabScrap, which is a nonprofit, aims to solve fashion industry waste problem. I'll let you talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, I just thought it was cool to give them a shout out. I've never heard of this organization, but yeah, just something kind of positive. It's not about trends or anything, but basically what they do is, so in New York, there's a law where if any business has more than 10% of its total waste is in textiles, they have to like go through the process of recycling whatever the extra waste is. And most design houses, like mostly all their waste is going to be textiles, you know? And so this woman started this nonprofit called FabScrap. And basically, I thought the cool part about it was, so they go and they collect all the textile waste and they bring it to their processing plant, and they'll have volunteers who come and sort it. So they go, okay, this is plastic, this is cotton, this is nylon. They just sort all the material, and in lieu of payment of doing that, they actually get to take home the textiles. So if you're like a fashion student in New York, like it's probably hard to buy all the stuff you want, and you're probably also getting like textiles from like Louis Vuitton or whatever, like these real design houses. So then they get to take some of them, and then the remaining textiles they give them to some women's shelters, homeless shelters, and then another nonprofit takes whatever's left and they recycle it into, they create a new material out of all the mix of fabrics and make furniture and blankets and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Oh, that was cool.
I love that fashion is moving. I've seen a lot of brands getting creative, whether it's making, I think maybe it was Adidas that did this. They're getting creative with using recycled material for tennis shoes. Fast fashion was so popular. I mean, it's still popular, but I feel like things are moving in a better direction with especially, I know Gen Z and millennials are wanting brands to take more responsibility when it comes to sustainability in their products and what the products come in and all of that. I personally quit using fast fashion about 1.5 years ago, and I now use Fashion Pass, a rental company. And the reason I do that is because with Instagram, everybody wants like a different outfit, especially as a fashion blogger. You don't want to like gram the same outfit like every week, right? So instead of me like buying a new outfit every time I wear it, I just rent it so that all of us bloggers that use this company are wearing the same outfit without just throwing it away after one use. We can all get good use out of it. And they're better quality brands. One of the brands is Free People, and I know they're more sustainable and a more responsible brand, so that's awesome too.
Yeah. Yeah, and more sustainable also because it's all the influencers don't have to buy
new clothes. Less clothes are being bought.
Right. Which is bad for Free People probably, but good for the world as a whole. Just to have less clothes that need to be made and bought and recycled and
But I do think what's cool for them is they're getting a bunch of influencers that are wearing their clothes now and like promoting them instead of them having to pay an influencer to promote their clothes. The influencers are using this like rental service. Yeah. So they're kind of getting free promotion out of it, which is one upside.
Yeah, more people wearing it, yeah.
That's all we have today for fashion segment.
For our topic within pop culture, this was your idea, which I thought was a great idea. We're going to take some guesses at...
I just think it's funny.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really cool idea, actually.
It's the nonsense of Nuance and nonsense.
Yeah.
Our podcast name, if you didn't know.
Take guesses at what's going to be the most popular Halloween costumes.
Yeah, so I cheated a little bit because I did look at an article that gave me some ideas. But for sure, Tiger King.
Yeah.
And
Joe Exotic.
What's
and,
Carol Baskin?
Carol Baskin.
What was that
what about
phrase
the toothless
that you...
guy? Somebody might be the toothless guy.
Yeah.
His little meth
Bubba.
boyfriend.
You get little Bubba teeth. My dad used to always buy me Bubba teeth as a child. What was that thing that you would always do after we watched Tiger King? You would always say a phrase or...
Carol Baskin. No, what was that song? Oh, no, I know what you're talking about. I go, hey, cats and kittens, it's Carol Baskin. Cat Rescue. I don't know she talked about that. I used to be good at it because we were watching
He seriously did it before everyone else was doing it on social media.
That's kind of the story of my life.
Yeah,
I did it before everyone else, but, Except for podcasts, I'm like the last one to do it,
Well, no. No. You kind of came up with this one.
Oh, that people will dress up, like they'll find some funny way to dress up as the year 2020. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like how people do I'm trying to think of one. Like Facebook, and they have a book on their face, and they're like, oh, I'm Facebook.
Yeah, I think 2020, kind of thing, this could be really insensitive, so don't do this. But I think with 2020, they'll have masks, some fires, some aliens, some hurricanes, just the world's freaking ending. Maybe some riot stuff. I don't know. Protests, just anything. Representing 2020 being
toilet
crazy.
Paper. Remember when
toilet paper. That's a good one.
Dress up as toilet paper.
No one be a mummy this year because we already ran out of toilet paper. I also think that people are going to be... I saw this in this article. We'll link to it. But Charli D'Amelio, I think there's going to be a lot of people trying to be her because she was this huge sensation. Yeah. I think one of the most she went into fame faster than anyone ever has with TikTok because she was not on social media, didn't have a TikTok, and then within 3 months became the most followed person on TikTok. But also I think the WAP song, Cardi B's song, was so big. I think that people will be her, and I think people will be Megan. I saw that Harley Quinn from Birds of a Prey, which I haven't seen, but everyone is always Harley Quinn, every year. The girl with the ponytail and they got the red and blue in her hair. Mm-hmm. And I guess she was in a new movie where she looks a little different. And I think people will definitely do that costume, and I think Billie Eilish as well.
And, this was my idea, a quarantine version of someone, but I just didn't know who. Because I don't really watch celebrity news, but if there was a celebrity who looked really
dress
bad,
up like a celebrity, but then
they looked really bad during quarantine on paparazzi or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you would know if something like that happened more than I would, but yeah, just I'm quarantine Conan O'Brien,
Yeah.
Quarantine Conan. Quarantine Conan.
I think that if you guys have any guesses on what will be the most popular... Are you okay?
Yeah.
What will be the most popular Halloween costume?
Yeah, let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Let us know. This segment is self-improvement psychology, and this was actually something that Sam brought up last night, and we had really good conversation about it, so we figured we would just make this one of the topics of this segment. It was a quote from a YouTuber that he's been watching, and the quote was, "Purpose over pleasure," which I really loved. I'll let you talk more about him and a little bit about it, because you know more than I do, because I didn't see the video.
So his name's Wes Watson, and his YouTube, if you look up Wes Watson, he'll come up, but he's this really heavily tattooed, really buff dude, and his videos are just literally just one take a camera and him sitting there talking into the camera, like just hyping you up, you know? It's kind of like David Goggins or Jocko, something like that, like motivation, you know? But
I wonder if people that watch this are gonna explain you that way.
Yeah, no, I'm way more of a fucking pussy than this guy. But he, my friend recommended him to me, and very like within like the first couple videos I watched, I was hooked on this guy, and you know that. I mean, I've been talking about him a lot. But he spent I think 10 years in prison in California, and he's from San Diego, and he tells a lot of different prison stories and what it's actually like in a California prison and how things work, and he's very like raw about it, which I think is kind of like what got people to start listening to him. But his message is like, he doesn't glorify it at all, and he says that his purpose is like to teach people the lessons without them ever having to go to prison and go through all that pain and suffering and tears and missing their family and all this stuff. And his message is really positive. Basically it's about kind of self-empowerment and like discipline and, you know, things like that. And so, yeah, he said that, and it really stood out to me, and I wrote it down. But he just drops gems left and right. Like, he takes a lot of his kind of life philosophy from different religions and different philosophies, like Stoicism, I know he's into, and certain things of Christianity or Buddhism. He kind of weaves into what he does. Yeah.
The reason I really like, even though I haven't seen this guy, but I just really liked that quote, purpose over pleasure. And the reason I like it is because pleasure can be like a pizza. You know, you could enjoy it for about 20 minutes, right? It lasts 20 minutes, and then you're kind of like, I wish I didn't eat that.
Yeah.
But purpose, like even just me and Sam sitting down and doing this podcast, afterwards, after we're done, just filming it. Like, we don't even have time to edit it yet. But afterwards, I feel like a peace for like, and even just during the work week, we both have felt more peaceful knowing that we're like doing other things that fit our purpose and helping people in whatever way. Maybe one of these messages will help one person, and like just knowing that and taking steps towards our actual purpose gives a sense of peace that is like I don't know what's the word, lasts long, like
yeah,
just
this stable,
peace,
everlasting.
this peace is like
not everlasting, but
this peace is here all
steady.
week.
Yeah,
you know, and it's steady. Where pleasure, it's like 30 minutes gone.
Yeah,
and
it's just
so
it's like a quick dopamine hit, basically. You know?
So I really love that purpose over pleasure, because I think that's what we're all striving for, is our purpose, and it's hard. It's a lot of work, but after you put in the work, it's so much more peaceful and longer that you get to enjoy it than what just 30 minutes of pleasure from a pizza does, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I really like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and this guy's just been like, it sounds weird, but like running through my mind, like a lot of his ideas, you know? Like they're really profound, and he obviously, it's clear to me that he read a lot in prison and continues to read a lot. But that's what you're saying. It's interesting that you said that, because that's one of his kind of messages is like working on yourself, like working on yourself, but just, you know, it doesn't have to be like a selfish thing. Like something that I will try to work on is like being a better boyfriend or being a better brother, right? But it's still working on me. Like I'm choosing to work on that goal. But he basically says like working on those goals, like, and having like continuous action, which is success. He says it like that is the best high known to man, you know? Mm-hmm. And cause he used to be a drug addict, and he went to prison for like selling drugs and violence around that type of stuff. And somewhat surprising to me is like like in prison, like he said it's easier to get drugs than like on the street, basically. So a lot of people in prison are just trying to numb pain and whatever. But yeah, I agree. Like when you do something purposeful, and so that phrase is just personally for me has been like running through my mind like constantly, you know. And it's made me become more self-aware of when am I just doing like the easy thing, you know, and like kind of shying away from difficulty, and you know, overcoming difficulty that brings you purpose. And anything that is really purposeful is going to be difficult. You know, kind of, that's two ways of saying the same thing. But like, you know, my life purpose might be like, oh, I want to, you know,
help people.
Yeah, I want to help people, right? But like, let's say I'm driving down the road and like, this guy cuts me off and I want to flip him off. Like, that's a difficult time, and it might not feel like in the moment like, oh, this is my life purpose, you know? But like it like leaning into that difficulty and just being like, letting him go by or whatever, just being a little more calm and taking a deep breath and resetting myself, like that, that's more purposeful. That you can find purpose in anything.
Yeah, it's like more, it's a step in the right direction towards your purpose and like the energy of your purpose, versus if you went and flipped that guy off, you would almost feel like, I know this is kind of woo-woo, but people say like being aligned with my purpose. Like if you just went and flipped someone off, you wouldn't feel in alignment with like who you are and your purpose and how you want to view yourself.
Yeah.
So that would be a step back from being in alignment with who you want to be.
Yeah. And
really
I think it's like a lot to do with intention too, because you don't always have to think of things as like, oh, I need a break, you know? Like I think that's how I typically think of things, is like, oh, I'm gonna work my ass off and then I need a break where I just don't fucking do anything, you know, and I don't have purpose in that moment. But just like it's only a matter of an intention, you know what I mean? Because like, I don't know, we went to dinner last night and we had like good conversation and really enjoyed the time out, and it wasn't just like, oh, it's been a fucking long day, like let's get some tacos and just fucking check out mentally, you know? But it was like purposeful, you know? But just, and it's literally just a mental thing, like we're doing the same thing. And so I don't know, it's really powerful. Like I'll link his video and in the podcast and YouTube descriptions and stuff. Like, this guy's awesome. He's not going to speak to everyone, like, but certain people, I think some of my friends, if you're listening, like I know certain friends of mine, like he will speak to you like in a deep way, you know? So.
That's awesome. Thanks, guys, for joining us on Nuance and Nonsense. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter. What else are we on? Subscribe to YouTube. Listen to our podcast.
Yeah, we'll be doing it every week. Let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about. Yeah, appreciate you watching very much or listening.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks.